Hi, this is Henry from Player Roll. Tonight, we're going to talk about Creatures of the Realm from Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you for watching, folks off of Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Freka. Anyways, tonight we're going to talk about the Basilisk. But before we get into the creatures, I'd like to tell everyone that August 26th, this Saturday, 8 p.m. Central, I will be DMing and I'll have players and they're going to play in a continued campaign. And we're all going to have a blast. And please join us, subscribe. You guys know what to do. It's going to be an event, huge event this Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time, only here on Play Your Role. Anyways, let's begin. I want to talk about the Basilisk. What does a Basilisk do? Well, I'll tell you about what happened to me in one of my older campaigns as a DM with the Basilisk. It's kind of a funny story. But anyways, let's talk about the Basilisk. A Basilisk is an adaptable predator. They thrive on accurate temperatures, tropical climates. Their lair and caves are other sheltered sites that most often basilisks are encountered underground. A basilisk born and raised in captivity can be domesticated and trained. Such a trained basilisk knows how to avoid meeting the eyes of those its master wishes to protect from its gaze. But it makes a daunting guardian beast. Because of this use, basilisk eggs are highly prized. Gaze of stone. Basilisks are ponderous for hunting creatures, but they don't chase their prey. You meet the eyes of a basilisk and a rapid transformation occurs. You are paused, don't move, paralyzed basically. You turn to stone. It's a very quick process. Some alchemists are said to know how to process the basilisk's gauntlet and fluids containing within. Properly handle the gauntlet produces an oil that can return petrified creatures to flesh and life. Unfortunately, for such a victim, many parts lost in stone form remain absent if the creature revives. Anyways, let's get into the basilisk itself. The armor class is normally 15, hit points 52. Again, you could change this as a DM to make them a little bit beefy. It all depends on the level of your party and so forth. The speed is 20 feet. Strength 16, which is a +3. Dexterity 8, -1. Constitution 15, +2. Intelligence 2, -4. Wisdom 8, -1. Charisma 7, -2. Senses, dark vision 60 feet. Passive perception 9. Languages none. Challenge rate of 3, 700 XP. Now again, you can change this as a DM to make it interesting, even though it's a great creature to have in your campaign. Petrifying gaze. If a creature starts its turn within 30 feet of the basilisk, and two of them can see each other, the basilisk can force the creatures to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw. If the basilisk is incapacitated or failed save, the creature magically begins to turn to stone and is restrained. It must repeat the saving throw at the end of its next turn. On a success, the effect ends. On a failure, the creature is petrified until it's freed by greater restoration, spell, or other magic. The creature that isn't surprised can avert its gaze to avoid the saving throw at the start of its turn. If it does so, it can't see the basilisk until the start of its next turn, when it can avert its eyes. Again, it looks at the basilisk at the meantime and must immediately make the save. Anyways, a basilisk is a very cool creature. It's a +5 to hit, reach 5 feet, one target. Hit of 10, 2d6 plus 3, piercing damage plus 7, 2d6 poison damage. Anyways, I'm going to talk about my story. Anyways, I had the group of characters, my players, and this was before we started filming. We were in the cave, and the group pretty much kept the Basilisk at bay. You had a sorcerer, you had a fighter, a paladin, you had a wood elf, you had a half orc, you had a bunch of characters, and they pretty much held the Basilisk at bay. One of them even had a shield and did the old Clash of the Titans where you take the shield and the Basilisk sees the gaze and it kind of petrifies him as well. But they did that, and they also literally, with powerful spells and magic, they froze the Basilisk into a corner. They levitated it, and it was kind of one of those moments as a DM, everything was going wrong. But anyways, it was fun. It was fun to see the players really take advantage of a creature. Now, can this happen to you? Of course it can. But anyways, it all depends on how you run things. And if you're rolling bad, and if the players are having a great time, that's the important thing. The players are the important factor here. You always want your story to be a good story, number one. Number two, everyone has to have a good time. And that's the key. If everyone's having fun, having a good time, and if the story is intriguing and powerful, but if the creature is pounced, if the creature is in the corner, and especially a basilisk is very cool creature to have. They're a lot of fun. I like creatures that petrify, turns things to stone. It's kind of my thing. I kind of like them. I like Medusa. Last episode, I used Medusa, which she was really good, really cool. Anyways, this Creatures of the Realm, to let you know, for those that are just chiming in and whatnot, Creatures of the Realm is basically, I go over the monster manual, the old one, and I go over each creature. We are in B right now. The next creature we're going to do, well, anyways, the next creature we're going to do is not working. Anyways, we're going to continue down the B, and we're just going to talk about creatures of Dungeons and Dragons. And if you have any creature you want to talk about randomly, anyone out there, just hit me up in the chat, let me know, and we'll talk about it. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, to me, I love it. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a very long time. 51, and when I was a kid, I just played D&D. I played other role-playing games as well, not just D&D, but I know a lot. The streaming thing is new to me. I'm old school, but it's a lot of fun, and I love doing it. And hopefully you guys can chime in with us, subscribe, like, and hang in there. I have one hell of a show for you guys on Saturday. And this show, Creatures of the Realm, do I know every single creature? No. It'd be amazing if I did, right? But every creature in Dungeons and Dragons can be homebrew, can be out of your imagination, can be out of a fairy tale book, whatever floats your boat. That's the good thing about Dungeons and Dragons, is you create, and the players are part of that story, and the characters, the creatures, are an integral part. Now, are they a lot of fun? Yes. 2, a main part of a story is to have those creatures in a setting. Those creatures, throw them in there. I mean, you just don't. What I like to do, first of all, what I like to do in a story, if the characters are in a cave, for example, there's a lot you could use in the books. They'll tell you the settings, where the creatures should go, their environment, and so forth. but a lot of times you could roll randomly, and there you go. You have your random encounters, and it's all part of Dungeons and Dragons as well. They're a lot of fun. Do players like it? Absolutely not. No one wants to get killed in a game. But anyways, this was meant to be a short little snippet, but it's okay. It's a really cool thing. I'm glad you guys are watching. Continue watching, because we have a lot of good content. I know it's a little corny every now and then, but there's nothing wrong with corniness. I'm not a professional actor, a voice actor. I'm just a guy, a D&D dungeon master, and you're gonna meet my players. We're good friends. We've been playing with a long time for each other, and we love Dungeons and Dragons. We love gaming, and I hope to see you this Saturday at 8 p.m. Central, because we have a really, really big night, and especially the players. They're going through events right now that are pretty dramatic, and just stick with us because we got a lot happening. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time on Creatures of the Realm.